I'll show you how to install the Python also. Oh, okay, go to python.org, python.org. Go to downloads and select the Windows version and download this one. I already have downloaded this one, my downloads folder. So if you double click on this one, now you have to check this one, add python.exe to the path, and also this one, and choose the custom installation. And then click next, and choose this one also, and deselect this one. So make sure this was the path and click on install. We'll start installing. Okay, once it is done, you can check by using command prompt. So it will display the version number. Python space hyphen hyphen version, then it will display the version number. So before that, we have installed the Python. Now we can use this one. But before that, we'll know about how to use the command prompt. This command prompt is basically very useful for writing Python code. So before writing the Python code, we'll know how to use this command prompt. This command prompt has many commands. If you type help, it will display all the commands which are present in this, and we can use these commands to instruct this terminal. So there are some commands which are useful for creating the files, directories, and deleting all those things. Those commands are like useful for creating the Python files and folder structure. So if you try dir, it will display all the directories in the current folder. If you use cd, change directory, and space and give the folder name, it will move to that folder. So similarly, cls, it will clear the screen. So currently I'm in the desktop directory. I try dir, it will display all the folders in the directory. You can see all these files are there in this folder. So similarly, there are many commands which are, some of them are useful and some of them are not useful for us, but later point of time we can use them. So for example, date is there. It will display the current date of the system, and it will request for the new date to update. If you don't want to update that one, you can simply type enter. It will go. So one more thing is like find. With find, we can use this command to search for some strings in a file. So for example, find space, whatever the string we need to search, and the file name, in which file we need to search the string. See, it is going to search for the print string in this test.py file, and it displayed all the lines which have that print string in that line. If you open this one, see there are multiple print statements. So it was displaying all these three lines. So there is one more thing, path. It will display the environmental variable. For the current environment, these are all the paths which were set to the system. So in that one, our Python also is there. If you closely observe, this is where all our Python scripts are located. Like when you type Python, this executable file will be there in this path. It will start searching from here, and they are separated by semicolon. So this is one path. We'll start searching, and then if it is not, this command is not found in this path, then it will go for the next path and look through all these variables up to the end. If it is not found, then it will throw error like this command was not found. Similarly, if you want to change the name of the current prompt, you try. See, prompt space the name. Change the name of this prompt. So from here we can we'll start displaying this one, this name, whatever we need. So how to revert this one? We simply write prompt and enter. Then it will come back. So if you want to start one more command prompt with some name, type start and we'll start one more command prompt. These are useful in the coming sessions. So I'm telling all these commands. So if you want to display the folder structure in GUI format, like whatever files and folders are there in this desktop, you type tree, it will display in graphical format. So you see all the subdirectories and files are displayed in this path, like in the desktop. And there is one more command, version. It will display the current version of this command prompt. So these are the commands which are useful for writing code in Python. Later point of time, we will use these commands to start coding. So now we'll know we'll currently know the directory structure of the Python folders. So if you go to this path, wherever the Python was installed, so you see all these folders are there in this location. So if you choose the first one, like DLLs, these are related to Windows. These are the Windows files which are completely responsible for executing Python. So on the second one is like document. If you go into this and find the index.file, this has complete documentation of the Python. You see, this is local version of the Python documentation. So you see all the tutorials, all those things, and the reference libraries, all those things you can find here. If you need any help, you can go through this library reference and you can find all the topics in this one. This is the local version you can find in the Python folder structure. So this includes is like C library files which are required for building some Python. when you can write some code in Python, some code in C, and you can build by using these header files. And lib is the extra packages like modules. We install some extra modules or packages like requests, PTZ, and Beautiful Soap, Django, Flask. If you install some extra modules, they come under here. By default, it has a rich set of library. All these are already available. If you want extra things, you can install by using pip command. Once you install that library, it will create one folder here and copy all the source code here as a module. This lib is Windows related, so you don't worry about this one. Libs. Scripts, as I said, all the scripts uh, which can be runnable through the command prompt are present in this one. Like pip is one we can run from command prompt that was present in this one. Likewise, virtual environment, all those commands will be inside this folder. TCL is purely related to GUI, like desktop applications kind of thing. If you know Tkinter, this TCL is completely different language which is required for running GUI applications, Tkinter applications. And rest of the files are related to Python command itself. This is the basic structure of the Python. So now there are multiple ways to write the code in Python. The first way is like using the interpreter. If you type Python, it will start the interpreter. So here you can directly write the Python code. Like if you say 2 plus 3, it will print by adding 2 and 3, and it will display on to the screen. Or else it will do the same thing. So if you want to import something from the modules which I have shown in the lib folder, so you simply say import. For example, if I import this module, let me run this from command line because I'm trying to read the arguments. Since I have passed the first command argument as this one, it was displaying this argument. These are the arguments which we passed to the command line itself. So if I type 1 and if I pass some extra arguments, to display this argument. This was the first one. This was the second one actually. This was the first one. So now I simply create one file and I'll try to execute. This was one way of executing Python code, like you can directly write in the interpreter. And the second way is if you have only one line or two lines to run, you can use the C option. You can write this code in one line or two multiple lines. If you have multiple lines, you can use this separator like semicolon, and you can start writing the code. So for example, if I do the same thing without importing, it will display the same thing. So other way is like creating a source file and then trying to execute that one. I'll open Edit Plus. I saved that file in desktop and I typed here that file was here. If I want to execute that one, sorry. So it was executed, this message. So this is one more way. Like in the later, if we want to create projects, we are going to create separate folders and we are maintaining some structure. I'll explain that structure when we are going to start the projects. So for now, we'll use this method for creating simple files, and currently we are using for learning purpose. So we'll start creating one file each time and we'll write whatever code we need and we'll try to execute that file. So the other way is like Python can execute the folder itself. So if I say Python will create one folder, so I created one folder named Python. Here I'll create one file. So I save that one. If I give the folder name, we are not giving any file name here. We give the folder name, it will try to search for this file underscore underscore main.py, and then it will start executing the main method in that file. So that is what you are seeing here. I'm not giving any file name like or Python file source code file name. I'm simply giving the folder name which we created, this folder. So this is one more way of executing that one. And the other way is like we have to create modules. So going further, we'll create some modules like requests. For example, I said request is one module which is useful for network requests. Like if you want to call some REST APIs. For those kind of things, we are going to use that module. We'll install that module and use. So if we want to create such kind of modules, we have to maintain one folder structure. For that one, we are going to call python -m and the module name. So to make this Python folder, so the name is not good. I'll create one more folder. So to make this module 1 visible for Python, we have to create one special file like the main file. Then it will start picking this file and it will start executing. What is the folder name we have given? Module 1. -m. So it should contain main also, underscore underscore main also. Actually, you have to write in this one. To assume this folder, this module 1 as folder as a module, we have to create this file simply. So we don't have to write here. We have to create this in underscore init.py and then we have to create main module. So it will run. These are the ways we can create the Python source files. So then now we'll go to the basics of the Python. So in Python, the first thing is indentation. Like I said, can you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So okay, if you see, there are two spaces in front of this one. And if you start typing, this can be considered as one block. So this is called indentation. Like you can add two spaces or you can add one tab and you have to continue to make this as a block. So indentation is very important in Python. Second thing, you keep on writing some code, you'll find some identifiers. So identifier is a variable or a function or a class name which we give. Those names have some rules. first rule is should be in this range. It can contain capital A to Z letters and small a to Z letters, and it also can contain 0 to 9 and underscore. But one rule is like it should not start with letters like numbers 0 to 9. So if I want to declare one variable in Python, for example age, this was in this range. So this is one variable and specifically integer in number variable. This is integer. So second rule is like it should not start with numbers. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. But it can start with underscore, and the second letter may be number, but should not start with numbers. These are the rules for creating variables. So if we continue on this one, like we can see like integers. In numbers, there are integers and floating point. We created integer of age, like this one, and there is one more type, floating point. Floating is like balance. If you say balance, this is floating point type. So to check that whether these are what types, there is one method in Python. Can use that one. If you see, I'm maintaining tab here. This one we have to maintain for all complete block. I try to run this one. So you see here, age is integer type, and this one is floating type balance. Similarly, we can print that one. We print that one. So this is age, this is balance. And these are integers and these are float. If we go further, there are sequence types. And one more thing is like this one is a comment in Python. So you can write anything. This is not going to execute. This line have no effect. So if we go for sequence types, there is string, strings, list, and tuple. These three types are there under sequence. So all these three are iterable. Like iterable is something like we can iterate one by one and we can get the values of that variable. So for example, take the name. This is of string type. We check the type. This one is string. So on this, as I said, it is iterable. This one is for loop. I am going to iterate one by one character at a time, and I am going to print this character to the screen. So if you see, first time I am getting all A, B, and I. So this Ravi is going to iterate one character at a time, and we're looping through the characters, all the characters. This string is a character array basically. Internally, it is stored like a character array, and that's why we are going to iterate this one. Similarly, there are lists. For example, names list. So if you want to initialize a list of values, we are going to open square bracket and closing bracket. In between, we have to write values. So list has special properties like if you go for list, whatever way we are storing the values. So the order is going to preserve. Like if you say this is index 0 and this is index 1, 2, and 3, the order will be preserved. So we can call this with the index number 0. Index 0, 0, this value will be there. See? Similarly, we can call this last value like this. Last value this. So there is one more thing in the lists and any sequence types. There is negative index also. The Ravi is 0 and this is 1, this is 2 and this is 3. We can start from this direction also. This is -1, -2, -3, -4. You can call this way also. See, -3, -1 and 3 are same. If you come from this direction, this one is 3. And if you come from this direction, this is -1.